everybody. Welcome to another week 9 of Sunday Football Culture with Dr. Kenya Oscar Adoli, and Dave Charlie.
Much appreciated, Doc. It's a privilege to be here with you today on a historical day for the United States, not just the United States, but the whole entire world. So I give my humble presence to you.
Dave, this is really interesting because I'm not so sure about the folks up in Canada. I know some people may be unhappy, some will be happy, but let's be honest. It's a wonderful historical day, like you said. I know this is a football show, but as always, when you have people that analyze culture, sometimes we need to discuss about it. As sociologists, as educationalists, this is what we do. It's an amazing time in America right now for those that supported Joe Biden. Joe Biden is president-elect, number 46. Think about it, Dave. We had 161 million people that voted in America in the 2020 election. This is the first time record-breaking numbers have taken place, David.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have shattered the voting count for a presidential election. There's nothing more to say after that. America has spoken.
And it's still going on. We have 74 million people that voted for Joe Biden, 70 million voted for Donald Trump. Some counts are still coming in. Some accounts are taking place for mailing that came from out of the country.
Real dog, all I can say is Pennsylvania, you guys are real OGs, man. Real OGs. You guys showed up. Your home county, Allegheny County, is where you live. People showed up. You did an interview for ABC TV, Action News. I saw you live.
And I mentioned that this is going to come down to the state of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
We mentioned Western Pennsylvania will play also a role, Allegheny County being a major hub for people that, thinking democratically. And by the way, shout out goes out to those in Georgia. Shout out goes out to those in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. Stacey Abrams, we love you.
What I can say to those who are not having a good day because of their candidate not winning, sorry for this feeling.
Yeah, sorry for the feelings.
Yeah.
No, but we're not sorry for the result. We're sorry for the feelings.
Again,
we know losing sucks. Losing sucks.
What I want to say is sorry for these feelings. For many people, they feel like they can breathe for a little bit now. The last 4 years has been very difficult for very many people. For those who have lost, you've just lost, but there's no threat to your existence, right?
Exactly. Does and that is the difference between the last 4 years and what is coming. There's no threat to your existence.
And with that said, we're going to shift on to our next section here. We're going to talk about our main game last week, which was Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens. A big rivalry, David. Take us off. Let us know.
Piri. The steel curtain. There's a coach that said, we knew who they were. We knew who they were.
Well, we let them off the hook.
Let him rest in peace. That's my coach, man. No surprises. The steel curtain was a steel curtain. Forced Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and one of them went for a pick 6. And that's the difference in the game. That's the difference in the game.
David, what was very, very, very difficult to understand was how great Baltimore dominated Pittsburgh. Baltimore run at the best defense in the league, willy-nilly. They took charge. They gained, I don't know how many yards that was, but they still couldn't complete because they couldn't make those passes.
So imagine, Oscar, man, that was like me watching you play rugby, when you guys just you mother all the guys in front of you. You just dunda. You're just breaking bones and you're breaking through lines. That's what's happened to Pittsburgh in the first half. They figured it out. And give Baltimore credit. They did it without their number one running back. He was out injured, but they still were able to run the ball. But the difference is turnovers. Two fumbles, two INTs.
It was a bad week for them in terms of not finishing the plays. They're still a team to reckon with. I think, like we talked about, they've added Des Bryant to the lineup.
I don't know. Did you hear his name in the game?
No, he didn't play in the game. Yes, he was in the, what do you call it, when you don't make the team but you're just training with the team. So this week, I think he's been activated this week.
So, Oscar, why sign a guy if you can't use him in the one game that you need him? Because now at Pittsburgh, 7-0.
Well, it's not
7-0.
detrimental though. It's not detrimental. You're bringing in the guy. It's not the Super Bowl, right? You're bringing in the guy with a long term plan of the season, right? He's in. He had been. Remember, he had not been in the game for 2 years. Although he says
Yeah.
he's keeping feet, you come into a new team. All I'm saying is this: he wasn't in the game. Fair enough. Baltimore know what they can do. They just need to improve a few two things. I think they need some threats on the receiving core. They don't have those threats. They can run the ball. They're able to make the connection between the quarterback and the wide receivers. Again, I'm not panicking about Lamar, right? I'm not panicking about that. But Lamar just needs to calm down and authorize himself to play this game the way he can play. And I think he'll be okay.
His number one receiver, Hollywood, his number one receiver, tweeted and then he deleted, tweeted and then deleted. He's used to getting 6 attempts thrown at him a game. He only had two. One of them was for a touchdown, but he only had two. He tweeted after the game saying, "What the f?"
I think after the game, also that's some frustration, right? You're out
Of course
there,
it is.
you're out there, you expect the game to go a certain way, but what sometimes players don't understand is it is the job of the position to make sure the game doesn't go your way, right? That's why it's called competitive football, right? It's not flag football, it's competitive football. You
We
expect
take
to get 6 receptions. Things were so high. This was Pittsburgh defense, man.
no, no,
Things
no.
were high.
It's not Pittsburgh 7. It was the steel curtain.
Look,
Let's call it what it is. It was a steel curtain.
I mean, those guys disguised things. Lamar Jackson saw open plays. When he put the ball there, it was a pick.
Yep.
That's the beauty of how Coach Tomlin has been coaching this team. He and his staff, he and his players believe in the system, and they're doing what they think will get them to the Super Bowl.
And Oscar, we don't the NFL, ourselves, everybody in the league, we don't celebrate Coach Tomlin enough. 13 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, two Super Bowl appearances, one Super Bowl. He almost had the other one. He lost to Green Bay and Rodgers. No problem. He has 140 wins after winning that game in Baltimore. And guess what? You know what the NFL did? They fined him for COVID mask, not being protocol. But he is the most winningest black coach in NFL history. He passed Tony Dungy.
Share with the listeners, what do you mean by the finding because of the COVID protocol?
So right now, and I give the NFL absolutely 100% credit for making sure that even though the games are going on, they're practicing safe distancing, mask wearing when you're not in competition. So for him being a coach on the sidelines, calling plays and all that, he must have a coverage of some site, some sort, whether it's a mask, a face shield, whatever it is. But he must have something where he's not a contributor to COVID.
So he
And
never had
so
his match.
yeah, he didn't have his mask on when he came on the field to attend to one of his players that got injured.
I'm thinking that was just probably a slip of the mind, right? The player goes down, you rush out there. Dave, you're a coach. I mean,
It's
you've
blanket
coached.
coverage. It's
Yeah.
blanket coverage, right? So you look at John Gruden's been fined, for repeated stuff. right? So yeah, the Raiders have been fined. I mean, they're because they've been repeat offenders.
Okay.
But Mike Tomlin's not a repeat offender. It just happened to him once.
But you know what? It's COVID-19 season, man.
And we respect that, and we want people to follow the rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So fight him, but please talk about how much of a success he has been. 13 seasons, no zero in losing. The worst he's gone, which was last year's 8-8.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think you and I have talked about authorizing ourselves. So we're not going to worry about those guys because we're doing the mention
We're
for him.
doing it.
We're
Yeah,
doing it.
we're doing it
And
for him.
yes, and our listeners across the world are getting to understand the kind of caliber Mike Tomlin is as a person, as a coach, a leader of men, a leader of man's men.
Yeah, I
Stoic.
mean,
Yeah.
whew,
Yeah. All right.
you know. So yeah, he's a true Hall of Famer. That's all I've got to say. And not just Hall of Fame in football, but Hall of Fame in life.
So that was last week's game, and we saw it was rapid fire. I know there was also another. We also talked about. We talked about up in Seattle. There was a rivalry again, the West Coast rivalry, right? The 49ers, San Francisco 49ers,
Best
and
division in
Pittsburgh
football.
Seahawks, right? How did that game go?
All I can tell you is that Russell was Russell. Just there's no two ways about it. Russell was Russell, man. You know, remember I talked. You were asking me for a winner, and I said Russell finds a way.
Right.
Russell found a way to a tune where he made it look easy. And again, give San Fran absolute credit. The coach deserves absolute credit because he's dealing Oscar, he's dealing with $79 million worth of talent on injured reserve. Injured reserve. That meaning ACL, ankle, Garofalo, all of them out. Garofalo played against Seattle, then he got hit out. But I got to give the 49ers credit, man. They are 4-5 right now. They're still finding ways to win, but they got out rustled. That's the term. I'm coining it. Out rustled. That's all.
All right. So let's move in. Let's move in into this Sunday's games, right? So tomorrow I'll mention the games, and then you can tell me what you think about this game. Yeah.
I got you,
New
man.
York Giants versus Washington. What what are your thoughts on the game?
You know what? I got New York.
Mhm.
Worst division in football, but I got New York. You know why? Because I've seen this boy Daniel Jones against Philly last week, then against Dallas, then against the Dallas Cowboys. He beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Listen,
Daniel Jones, man.
I,
I just Daniel Jones.
I like what you're seeing because when you see Daniel Jones, the quarterback of New York Giants, he's the man who made Eli Manning retire,
Yeah,
and he's lighting up New York, right? You can see a future with this young man. Let's move into Ravens and Colts. I know we talked about the Ravens against Steelers last week, but what are your thoughts about Ravens versus the Colts?
not an easy game for the Ravens. Both teams are 5-2. They're going to the Colts, so you have to look at the Colts, right? Frank Reich, he's the Super Bowl offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles 3 years ago. Frank Reich has managed to put his team at 5-2 even after Andrew Luck retired.
Hmm.
He's a hell of a coach.
Okay, so
It's not
that's
an easy game. It's not an easy game for Baltimore.
all right. So that's going to be a good game to watch, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Next game, the Lions, Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings.
All you got to look at is what the Minnesota Vikings did to Green Bay last week. Delvin Cook, man, he's like me. He's a chef.
It's cooking it up, right?
He's cooking it up, man. He, they're gonna hand him the ball, and
Right.
he's just gonna run. Like Forrest Gump. He's just gonna run. He's just gonna run,
Run,
and
Forrest.
And if they won't be able to stop, Detroit needs to find a way to stop him, and I don't believe that they can. I just don't believe that they can. He had over 200 yards rushing last week. I expect him to have the same.
Now moving over to Chicago Bears versus the Tennessee Titans. That's gonna be a good game. Also 1 o'clock.
Put it this way: for Tennessee, laid an egg last week. I don't know what happened to them. They just got killed. And then Chicago, Nick Foles keeps giving the other team opportunities. And he doesn't need to because he's probably got the second best defense after Tampa Bay's in the league.
What do you mean he gives other teams opportunities?
He's filanga free. He's always filanga free. Hey, let me throw the ball up there. Let's see who's going to catch it. Not his receiver. Let's see who's going to catch it. So, it's like he's playing frisbee, not football.
So what he's trying to say is that he doesn't take care of the ball when he puts it out there. It's like
no, he doesn't.
Almost 50-50, right?
Yeah, it's a 50-50 ball, especially when he's under pressure. And that is the difference. Chicago has lost the last 2 games simply because he keeps putting them in situations where the defense has to operate with a short field, not a long field where they can really go after the quarterback and really pin the other team down. Because he's throwing interceptions at midfield in his own half, and he's got to stop doing that. He's just got to stop doing that.
All right, we're going to move on to Las Vegas Raiders play San Diego Chargers. I mean, what do you think about that game, Dave?
This game is the one that you call a toss-up because the rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert, playing for the Chargers, man, he's playing lights out. Lights out. If his defense can find a way to stop Dave Carr, Carr, they will be fine. But again, Las Vegas, they're Jekyll and Hyde. They can beat KC and then lose to somebody like the Chargers. That's the problem. Inconsistency. So I give Justin Herbert the edge here simply because they are in Los Angeles playing against the
Chargers. Steelers and Cowboys, what are your thoughts there?
Steelers and Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones, after Trump losing and then now to face this situation, I think Jerry Jones is going to stay on an island. Cowboys on an island. It's a massacre. It's over.
Dolphins Cardinals. We saw the Dolphins rookie quarterback last week did well, but we're not so sure how to play against the Cardinals.
Game to watch. That's all I got to tell you, man. This, out of all the games, this is the game you'll watch because Kyler Murray is worth the price of admission. He's fantastic. That half Filipino, half black boy, he can play. But that's a game to watch. 2 defenses that are incredible. Tua, I can't pronounce his name. Tua Vangloa. Him and Kyler Murray were both 2 of the hottest QBs coming out back to back. Tua got injured, so he dropped down in the pecking order. The Dolphins picked him up. He's playing right now. He's playing with one of the best defenses. Okay. And again, you saw what the Cardinals defense did to Russell Wilson 2 weeks ago. Game to watch.
Sunday night, the main game is the Saints versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans. When I said the Saints, for our listeners out of the U.S., that's the team from New Orleans. They're called the New Orleans Saints.
That's right.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers from Florida.
Just think of Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans.
And this is the second time this teams are meeting. They first met and
week one.
Tampa Bay took care of
New Orleans.
No, the Saints beat Tampa Bay then when Tampa Bay was just basically learning how to tie their shoelaces.
Yes. They're a different beast right now.
Oh, we need to mention that we have our Antonio Brown will be suited up and laced up for this game, right?
I think in Scotland they say unleash the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken. But you know what? This is Breeze Brady 2.0. And all I can tell you is get your popcorn ready. It's great for a Sunday night. Sit back, watch. It's going to be a show. If Breeze can handle the Tampa Bay defense, New
Yeah.
Orleans has a shot. But I call Tampa Bay simply because Brady has probably the best defense since he won the Super Bowl against the Eagles when he had an unbelievable defense with the Patriots.
David, listen, this looks like a lot of football on Sunday. All in all, it's football Sunday, and we expect some great games, right?
And and all I got to say, Doc, is I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank my Philadelphia, ties when I talk about the Mugo brothers, John Otieno, Susan Mugo, Anna Temu, Esther and Degwa Brown. We all came over here searching for a better life. I became a Canadian. You guys became Americans. Your vote counted. So thank you. Thank you for being part of the process.
On that note, let's call it a day. Let's look forward to those games. Salute, my brother.
Till next time.
Till next time. Take it easy, Dave.